What's up, everyone? My name is Michael Pohl with Bay Area Aquatics, and we're here at the Sacramento Aquarium Society, and we're interviewing this month's speaker, Charlie Mueller?
Yeah,
Mueller. Okay, that's what I thought. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Charlie.
I've been keeping fish back into the hobby real good for probably about 7 years now. I'm very lucky. I live in an area where there's a lot of catfish nuts. We got Eric Bodrock in Pittsburgh, close out in Ohio. We got Jeremy Bash. And there's a whole bunch of other people that are ridiculously good at keeping catfish and breeding them in between there. There's a ton of clubs out that way. I can probably drive within 2 hours and hit 8 or 10 different clubs. So we got all kinds of different clubs.
So what's your home club? Your base
I'm out at Greater Pittsburgh Aquarium Society. Right out of Pittsburgh, PA. Ridiculously good membership, great club. Yeah, I can't say enough. They've been a huge help.
So we're going to go ahead and jump into asking you a couple of questions. And we meet at a pizza place.
Yep.
So what's your favorite type of pizza?
I'm a weird one. I'm going to go regular with feta cheese on top.
Feta cheese
yeah,
on top.
Maybe some spicy pepperoni. If they got like spicy diced pepperoni, probably a real odd one.
I was going to say, that's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one before. All right, so what got you hooked on plecos and Laura Carine, because I can't say that word.
I don't know. There's just something about catfish that just gets it going. I've bred epistos, I've bred tetras, cichlids. I'd go down and I would see epistos lay eggs, and I would just walk by the tank and say, oh great, there's eggs in the cave again. Whoop-de-doo. I get a new catfish or like a whiptail or a pleco to spawn. If it's a unique one to me, there's been a couple times where I've called my fiance at work and been like, holy crap, these things bred. Can you believe it? She's like, take notes, do this, test that. I'm like, oh, good call. I'm too excited. I'm worried about
you can't keep your head straight.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even want to go to work today.
Perfect. And so breeding whiptail catfishes is kind of why you're here talking. If someone was wanting to get into breeding whiptail catfishes, what would be the kind of place you would start?
I would go with probably the most common one you'll see. They're an egg layer. They're pretty widely distributed down there. They're any of the Hemiluricaria species or Rhinoluricaria, whatever they come in as. It's the same genus. They just go back and forth as to what it should be called. We think we're cichlid people all this time as catfish. And they're super easy to take care of. They're relatively widely tolerant on temperatures. They'll take anything from 70 to like 82 or even lower than that at times. And they eat anything. They can eat veggies, meat. So you can feed them. You could feed them potato, cucumber if you wanted, or you could go and feed them shrimp, live shrimp, or cooked shrimp like you would put on your salads or anything like that. Or you can just feed them any sort of pellet or stick food that sinks to the bottom that you get at your pet shop that you have laying around. Yeah.
And so what's kind of your greatest accomplishment when it comes to fish keeping? Like that one moment that, a spawn or something, whatever your top moment fish keeping was.
There's been one fish, a real oddball whiptail called Epistoluricaria omation, that as far as I've been able to track down, I'm the first one that's in the world that's ever been able to breed and raise the fry. Doesn't get any better than when some guys come in your room and they're like, oh, nice, you got that fish. Yeah, those are my F1s. And they just are like, that's crap. And they're like, that's freaking awesome though, but I've tried so hard and they can't do it. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of neat when that happens. So
awesome. And with stereotypes on catfish, especially like plecostomuses and stuff, is there anything like that you think is kind of bad for the hobby, that gets like a bad stereotype?
They aren't a cleanup crew. They do need their own food. You do need to spot feed these fish. Sometimes ideally it means at night, so with food that sinks and gets down to their level. So if you have like African cichlids and you have like bristlenose with them or something like that, you need food that gets down to them.
So what things would you like to see change in the fish hobby over the next couple of years, if there's anything?
I think my biggest thing is it's kind of just the same with the world. I think there just needs to be less negative words and things. People just need to be positive about what everybody's trying to do. Don't tell somebody, oh, you're doing it wrong because, or you're stupid just because of that. Try to understand the reason that they're doing it that way, because maybe they might be stumbling along something that's better that you just haven't even thought of yet, that can change what you're doing and make what you're doing better, but they're taking a different route on it and it's causing issues in a way.
Take a little bit from each and kind of merge it into one. And
don't ever dismiss anybody, like, and talk to as many people as you can. There's nothing wrong with going up to anybody. The fish hobby's kind of unique in the highest names that you read about writing articles in TFH or Amazonas. Those guys are completely approachable.
Yeah.
You can send them emails, you can hit them up on Facebook. Some of them might be busier and they might not be able to get back to you right away.
Might be in the middle of somewhere collecting or
something.
something.
I know, I'm terrible at it. It might take me 2-3 days to get back to a message
That's better
at
than me.
times.
I'm like a week.
But
so.
it's, hit them up and don't be discouraged. And if you ask for advice, listen to it. Don't just say, well, I do this because I saw it somewhere. Again, to ask, why do you do that? So you understand more of what's going on.
Definitely. And so if you could invent something for the fish hobby, something, even if it's kind of crazy out there, what would you invent to make your fish keeping better, easier?
To me, it's already out there. Automatic water change system with an overflow on the tank. When you start getting 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 tanks, and you start talking 2,000-3,000 gallons of water, 4,000 gallons of water in your basement in your tanks, anything to make maintenance easier and cut that time, it doesn't get any better than that.
Automatic water change is one of the things. I've got 8 tanks right now, and I'd love to get to that eventually. I just haven't quite gotten around to it.
I'm still not there either. I semi-automate it because I still like differences and stuff, so it's...
And so, what's kind of your, one of the club members asked this and was curious, what's kind of your like arsenal of medications? What do you keep on hand? And is there a specific reason why you keep those ones always on hand?
3 things for me. I keep Proform C for any external parasites. A lot of times, especially if you get wild plecos, they come in and you won't ever see it, but they have Udinium velvet. It'll sit on their gills. Barbie Fiorentino taught me that in one of her talks, and it's incredibly true because you'll get them to breed and you'll have fry and then they'll die, and that's because the adults all have velvet in them. You treat them with Proform C, and all of a sudden you start getting babies living and stuff like that. Another one for bacterial infections, I'll use Canaplex. And then the secret one that I call it a secret, it's old school, straight old hydrogen peroxide. I'll literally even take some of these catfish out, and if they have really bad bacterial or fungal or scrapes on them, take them out of the tank and put it on. Take a little pipette and just drop it on the fish. Just don't get it in their eyes, their mouth, or in their gills. But you can put it on their body and it's not gonna... Yeah, it's just like you get a cut on your finger, you put it on there, it bubbles up, and you'll literally see it bubble up on the fish and start to work, and then...
And you just put them right back into the tank afterwards?
Yeah, just dump them right back in the tank. Do it, you might have to do it several days in a row, but...
Oh, just like a human
when I haven't had anything else work, that brings them through.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that. I keep hydrogen peroxide for algae, but not for not for that. And so, if you had to choose one fish to be your favorite fish, what would that be? Only fish you get to keep for the rest of your life.
It's hard for me to go against that epistolaric hariomation just because of them being the first world spawn, but I'd honestly have to settle on one of the Pseudacanthicus species, the big leopard or the big cactus plecos, just because they have so much personality. Everybody talks about cichlids and the fish coming up to the tank and plecos just hide. You start to get a pleco that once they get over 6 or 8 inches, especially once they get in around that 10 or 12 inch mark, they're not afraid of you. They'll come out, they'll dance on their fins and tell you when they're hungry. And if they don't like you being around, they'll literally slap their tail off the side of the tank. You'll be like, what the heck was that about? And they're like, get away. We all go through those moments where we don't want to be around nobody.
Talk to. Yeah. It might be an off day or something.
Yeah.
And then this was another question from a club member. They wanted to know if your hobby was self-sustaining or not.
If you have it on any level of self-sustaining, you're incredibly lucky and you figured out more than 99% of the people out there that keep fish. My problem is I have way too many hobbies. I spread myself way too thin. So I'd have to make way more than what I could probably be reasonable off of the fish. and it just is impossible for me.
That makes sense. I'm the same way. I've got this hobby, that hobby.
Yeah.
This weekend I've got this. I'm doing the YouTube video. I've got another thing tomorrow. All 3 different hobbies, and they're all expensive.
Well,
hobbies.
see, for me, like I only do talks. I try to only do talks in January and February now because back home, it's crappy weather. It's snow, ice, cold.
It's not lucky like in California where it's sunny
yeah,
today.
I can't get my boat out on the lake and go fishing for muskie. Every other weekend, if pretty much April till December, I'm gone muskie fishing on the boat. Once Friday hits, I'm pull the work van in and hook up the boat and I'm gone somewhere. Nothing sees me till Sunday.
Nice. Right, awesome. Well, like I said, I just wanted to say thanks for coming out to Sacramento Aquarium Society. If you're interested in joining the Sacramento Aquarium Society, we're going to have all the info in the description down below. We get to talk to awesome speakers and meet awesome people like Charlie. And like I said, we just wanted to say thank you for coming out again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And so if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I upload a video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.